Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Sauce. Got one MLB playoff game. Grimace down to his last strike. We were just talking a minute ago. I really thought the Braves were going to score a run off Suarez. Can't believe Max Fried got hit up. You got your Padres bet. Got the series you wanted. You got Padres-Dodgers. But that one, when's that one start? Friday?
Yeah.
All right, so we got a day for that one. What we're talking about here, Mets, Brewers, Game 3, Quintana against Tobias Myers. Would you take Grimace at the plus 100?
I am. I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to play Grimace at plus. I actually got it at plus 105 on DraftKings. And I'm also going to play the first 5 under at 4.5. It's juiced up to like minus 130. If you wanted to play a first 5 under 4 at like minus 105, I wouldn't hate that either. I just feel like this game is going to be really close, and we can get into it really quickly. So two solid pitchers this year so far in Myers and Quintana. Myers has been extremely, extremely good for the Brewers. There's no question about that. His last 8 home starts, 1.64 ERA, 0.68 WHIP, 342 or 348 xFIP, excuse me. I will say that the level of competition hasn't really been there. San Francisco, Cincinnati, Colorado, Arizona, Pittsburgh, and the Mets. He didn't really look good against one of his starts against Arizona. He looked good against the other in the other one. But I just feel like this game is so much of a coin flip. And then if you take a look at what the Mets are doing versus right-handed pitching, it's nothing special. I'm not going to try to make a case that it is. But versus right-handed pitching, over the last couple of weeks, they're about middle of the pack. Over the last couple of weeks on the road, though, the Mets are like bottom third of the lineup on the road. But I just don't feel like that game. I feel like to getting either one of these teams at plus money was kind of going to be my bet. And the reason for that is I don't feel like the Brewers did enough today to make me convinced, like, man, that's really going to hard to beat that team. Jackson Chourio went off. He had a couple of home runs. That's really good. If you're a Brewers fan, that's obviously awesome. Again, not taking anything away from that. But the Brewers didn't do anything really. They got that one from Chourio early, and then everything they else did off of essentially bullpen blowups. And the Mets only use Garrett, Stanek, and Maton, while the Brewers use McGill, Piamps, Koning, Ross, and Williams.
Is all those guys will be available though? I'm assuming, right?
100% will be available, but I do feel like the Mets. I still feel like the Mets bats are much more hotter than the Brewers bats. I understand this series is 1-1, obviously, but again, I feel like the Mets are continuing to find ways to score, and the Brewers are live and die by the long ball. And Quintana, again, Quintana's not a guy I'm running to the window to back. At the same time, there are not a whole bunch of guys in that Brewers lineup that really scares me. They're going to be throwing a whole bunch of righties against him, and Quintana a little bit better against righties than he is against lefties. The xFIP against righties is high, but you can take that with a grain of salt. It is what it is. But Quintana over his last 5 or 6 starts has been pretty damn good. He just faced this Brewers team less than a week ago. He went 4 1/3, gave up 2 runs. Washington, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, the White Sox, the Padres. He went 5 innings or more in all those starts. Gave up 1 run or less in all those starts. So he's pitching well here, and he's going to have Diaz rested. He's going to have what's his face? Diaz. Why is that name escaping me now?
The Rain Man?
Yes. No. Diaz, Budo, the Rain Man will be there. That's Brazopan, if you guys didn't know who that is. Ottavino. And I understand that, like, Ottavino hasn't
No,
been
not
great.
Ottavino, bro. No.
I understand he hasn't been great, but if we only he should be in there for like 1 or 2 at bats, and we'll be fine. So I really, honestly, obviously the prices are very different, but I really feel like the same way I felt like Detroit in the Astro game. I feel like you can probably make sides for both teams. But I do feel like the Mets have a little bit of a bullpen advantage. Again, I understand how good the Brewers bullpen has been all year. I get that. But I also feel like the Brewers haven't shown me enough offensively this series and going into the regular season enough for me to be scared of them. Again, I understand that they won tonight with the bullpen blow up, and if that happens again and they hit 3 or 4 home runs tomorrow, then I'll lose my bet and I'll be okay with that. But again, I don't feel like this is a deflating win for the Mets. I felt that maybe this was a possible down spot for them today. I still bet them today at that price, and I'm not worried about it. Like I said, the bullpen blow-ups, it is what it is. But if it happens again, it happens again. But I think that first 5 under will cover it. So yeah, I think the Mets win, and I think they probably stays under. I think that first 5 under is going to be at 4 by the time everybody watches. If you watch this in the morning and not tonight, but I still don't mind that first 5 under 4. But there's just no way I can fade the Mets here. Again, I know a lot of people are going to want to take Milwaukee as a short home favorite, but in a closeout game. But they're just not doing enough offensively for me to worry about it. Like I said, I feel the same way about the Brewers as I felt about the Astros today. So Astros had 1 good inning essentially, and that was pretty much it. I feel kind of really the same thing about the Brewers. So I just still feel like both those teams still have something to prove to me. Obviously the Astros aren't playing. And if you're going to give me the Mets at plus 105, I'm going to take it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with that. Me and Andy were having an argument. He was saying that this loss actually helps the Mets if we were to win because Quintana won't pitch game 1 against the Phillies who own him. But I'm saying I don't think that would have affected it. Like, if the Mets won tonight, I don't think they would have used Quintana in game 1 just because it's his turn. I think Severino still would have pitched game 1.
I think so too.
Yeah, so
I would assume so. Again, I will say to Andy's credit, I will say some of the decisions that some of these managers have made with the pitching, I mean, has been a little bit suspect at times, and not just for the Mets. Everybody's falls into that category. So, but yeah, I would assume that they wouldn't be just throwing Quintana out there, especially with the momentum that they would have if they were actually in that series. To be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm taking the Mets. It's our season's on the line. We've come this far, and also as far as the storyline for the Mets, I mean, this isn't how it ends. It's been too magical. It's not going to end here. I'm not saying we're winning the World Series, but it's not ended in a city like Milwaukee.
Also, I just wanted to point out, since I forgot, Brewers versus left-handed pitching, again, they're just really not doing anything. Over the last 14 days or 30 days, 18th, 15th, and 16th in WRC plus, OPS, and WOBA. And as far as the Brewers at home, in general, over the last 14 days, 24th in WRC plus, 23rd in OPS, 24th in WOBA, last 30 days, it's even worse. So, again, this Brewers lineup has been suspect at best for a month and change now. So, again, if that happens because a Mets bullpen blow up, it is what it is. But again,
all right, let's do it. Mets money line. Oh, you said you like the first 5 under.
Correct.
Thanks everyone for watching. See you on the live show 4 p.m. Eastern time. Later, guys.